Let me go. Please.
Take off the dress. Zara's hands shook as she stood in the Ritz-Carlton penthouse, still wearing the white dress she'd panic-bought at Bloomingdale's 6 hours ago. Kang Jae-won, her husband as of 4 p.m. today, stood by the window overlooking Central Park. Tattoos visible beneath his unbuttoned shirt. Dangerous. Controlled. Everything she'd feared. I said take off the dress. Please. Her voice broke. He turned. And his expression wasn't what she expected. It was gentle. I'm not asking for me, he said quietly. I'm asking because you've been wearing it for 8 hours and you look exhausted. There's a robe in the bathroom. Go change. I'll order food. We need to talk. Zara stared at him. You're not going to touch you? He finished. No. Not tonight. Not ever, unless you want me to. Which right now you clearly don't. Then why did you marry me? Because 6 months ago, I was in a Starbucks in Koreatown and I saw you. Laughing. Free. Alive. And 3 weeks ago, I found out your father owed $3.2 million to some very bad people. People who made him an offer. Her blood went cold. What offer? You. In exchange for erasing his debt. And when I found out what they planned to do to you... He stopped. Jaw tight. I made sure I was the highest bidder. And that's when Zara realized, this wasn't a transaction. This was a rescue. If you're still watching right now, drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from. Subscribe to our channel for stories that can make you smile, and can also make you cry for absolute strangers. Now, let's get into the story. 3 weeks earlier, Brooklyn. Zara's father, Marcus Cole, sat at their kitchen table with his head in his hands. How much? She asked. 3.2 million. The number was absurd. Impossible. Marcus had always gambled. Cards. Horses. Sports. But never like this. Never enough to destroy them completely. Who do you owe? People you don't want to know about. Dad. Korean syndicate. Out of Seoul. They operate in New York, LA, Vegas. I thought I could win it back. I couldn't. Zara's chest tightened. What happens if you don't pay? Marcus finally looked at her. His eyes were red. Exhausted. They made me an offer. What kind of offer? The kind I can't refuse. The kind that keeps me alive. He pushed a document across the table. Legal. Official. Terrifying. They want you, Zara. As payment. A marriage contract to one of their associates. In exchange, the debt disappears. The room tilted. You're joking. I wish I was. You can't just sell me. It's not selling. It's an arrangement. A marriage. You'd be taken care of. Protected. By criminals? By men who traffic in human beings? By powerful men who keep their word. It's this or they kill me. And probably you too. They don't leave loose ends. Zara stood up. I'm calling the police. And tell them what? That I owe money to people who don't officially exist? They'll laugh you out of the station. This is happening, Zara. I already signed. You have 3 weeks. She didn't speak to him for those 3 weeks. Spent every day looking for ways out. Lawyers who couldn't help. Friends who offered sympathy but no solutions. A world that didn't care about women sold to pay debts. On day 20, she got a text from an unknown number. Unknown, I know what your father agreed to. I know you don't want this. But I'm asking you to trust me. Marry me instead. I'll protect you. I promise. Zara, who is this? Unknown, someone who won't hurt you. That's all you need to know right now. Zara, why would you do this? Unknown, because I saw you once and I couldn't forget. She should have ignored it. Should have blocked the number. Instead, she met him 2 days later at a cafe in Manhattan. Kang Jae-won. 34. Composed. Dangerous in a way that was obvious even in expensive clothes. Your father owes money to the Choi family. he said without preamble. They're vicious. What they do to women. He stopped. You don't want to be part of their world. And your world is better? No. But I'm better. I'll marry you. Clear your father's debt. And you'll be safe. That's all I'm offering. Safety. Why? Because 6 months ago, I was in Koreatown. Starbucks on 32nd. You were with friends. Laughing at something on your phone. You looked. He paused. Free. Happy. I haven't been able to stop thinking about you since. That's insane. Yes. You're asking me to marry a stranger because you saw me in a coffee shop? I'm asking you to marry me instead of being given to men who won't care if you scream. That's the actual choice here. Zara wanted to run. Wanted to disappear. Wanted any option except this. If I say yes, I'll treat you with respect. You'll have your own space. Your own life. I won't force anything. And if you want to leave eventually, I'll help you do it safely. Why should I believe you? Because in 3 days, you're going to be married either way. At least with me you choose. It wasn't really a choice. But it was better than the alternative. City Hall, Manhattan. 4 p.m. Zara wore the white dress she'd bought that morning. Simple. Cheap. Nothing like a real wedding. Jae-won wore a suit that probably cost more than her rent. He was handsome in a severe way. Controlled. Giving nothing away. The ceremony took 8 minutes. Do you take this man? I do. Do you take this woman? I do. You may kiss the bride. Jae-won looked at her. We don't have to. It's part of the ceremony. I know. But you don't want me to. So we won't. He took her hand instead. Squeezed once. Gently. And somehow that was more intimate than a kiss would have been. They signed papers. Made it legal. Walked out into afternoon sun as husband and wife. A Tesla Model S waited at the curb. Black. Sleek. Expensive. Where are we going? Zara asked. Ritz-Carlton. I have a penthouse there. You'll stay tonight. Tomorrow we'll figure out longer-term arrangements. The drive was silent. Zara watched Manhattan blur past and tried not to think about what came next. When they arrived, Jae-won handed her his iPhone. Call anyone you want. Tell them where you are. You're not a prisoner. You can leave if you want. But I'd prefer you stayed until we've talked. Why? Because I need you to understand what you're safe from. And why this was necessary. The penthouse was beautiful. Floor-to-ceiling windows. View of Central Park. Furniture that looked like art. You can have the bedroom, Jae-won said. I'll take the couch. You don't have to. I do. You're scared. I'm not making it worse by imposing. He loosened his tie. Unbuttoned his shirt. And Zara saw them. Tattoos. Extensive. Beautiful and terrifying. Dragons. Korean script. Images that marked him as exactly what he was. Dangerous. I'm going to order food, he said. Nobu okay? Or would you prefer something else? I'm not hungry. You haven't eaten today. I watched you at City Hall. You need food. How long have you been watching me? Jae-won paused. 6 months. Since that day at Starbucks. I didn't follow you. Didn't invade your privacy. But I kept track. Made sure you were safe. And when I found out about your father's debt, when I learned what the Choi family planned. His jaw tightened. I couldn't let it happen. So you bought me instead. I married you. There's a difference. Is there? Yes. Because you can leave anytime you want. They wouldn't have given you that option. Zara sat on the edge of the pristine white couch. What would they have done? Do you really want to know? Yes. Jae-won sat across from her. Far enough to give space. Close enough that she could see his eyes. The Choi family specializes in high-end trafficking. They take women, usually from desperate situations, and place them in private clubs. Exclusive. Expensive. No choice in clients. No escape. Your father would have been paid. His debt cleared. And you would have disappeared into a world where no one would look for you. Zara felt sick. And you? I run legitimate businesses. Real estate. Import. Tech investments. I also handle things that aren't strictly legal. But I don't traffic people. I don't hurt women. And I don't force anyone into situations they can't leave. So I can leave right now. Right now, no. The Choi family thinks you're with them. They think your father made the deal. If you surface alone, they'll take you anyway. But in a few weeks, once I've made it clear you're under my protection, once the message spreads, then yes. You can leave. Safely. Why would you do all this for someone you saw once in a coffee shop? Jae-won smiled. Sad. Tired. You ever see something so perfect you can't forget it? Even when you know you'll never have it? That's not an answer. Yes, it is. I saw you happy. Laughing. Free. And I knew, if the world took that from you, I'd never forgive myself for not trying to stop it. Zara didn't leave that night. Or the next. She stayed because Jae-won was right. Leaving wasn't safe yet. But also because he kept his word. He slept on the couch. Gave her space. Ordered food she liked without asking how he knew. Treated her like a person, not property. 3 days in, she asked. What do you want from me? Nothing. Everyone wants something. Okay. I want you to feel safe. I want you to sleep without nightmares. I want you to laugh the way you did that day in Starbucks. That's it. That's everything. A week in, they started talking. Real conversations. About books. About her job at a small gallery in Brooklyn. About his childhood in Seoul before his family moved to New York. Do you miss Korea? She asked. Sometimes. Mostly I miss who I was before I became this. He gestured at himself. The tattoos. The reputation. Who were you? A kid who liked music. Who wanted to study architecture. Who didn't know he'd inherit an empire built on fear. You could still study architecture. Could I? Walk into Columbia at 34 and pretend I'm normal. Why not? He laughed. Actually laughed. You make it sound simple. Maybe it is. Maybe you've convinced yourself it's impossible because that's easier than trying. Something shifted in his expression. You're dangerously optimistic. You say that like it's a bad thing. If you're still watching, drop a still watching in the comments, because this next part changes everything. 2 weeks after the wedding, Zara woke at 2 a.m. to find Jae-won on the balcony. Can't sleep? She asked. He turned. Did I wake you? No. She stepped outside. The city glowed below them. I can't stop thinking about what you said. About seeing me that day. I shouldn't have told you that. Why not? Because it makes me sound obsessed. Unstable. Like I engineered all of this just to. Did you? No. If your father hadn't gotten in trouble, I would have spent the rest of my life wondering about the woman in the coffee shop. But I wouldn't have interfered. Wouldn't have approached you. I'm not that person. What changed? I found out you were in danger. And suddenly doing nothing felt like a worse crime than doing something insane. Zara leaned against the railing. I hated you on our wedding day. I know. I hated my father more. For putting me in that position. For being so selfish. Addiction makes people selfish. That's generous. It's true. Doesn't make it okay. But it's true. They stood in silence. I don't hate you anymore, Zara said quietly. Good. I'm not saying this isn't. I know. You don't have to explain. But I want you to know. These 2 weeks. The way you've treated me. I've never felt this safe. Even before everything fell apart, I never felt like someone was actually protecting me. Jae-won's expression cracked. Just slightly. That's all I wanted. For you to feel safe. Why? Because 6 months ago, I saw someone happy. And I thought, that's what people should be. That's what life should look like. And when I learned someone was trying to take that from you. He stopped. I couldn't let it happen. Zara stepped closer. I'm starting to understand something. What? That maybe you didn't save me from them. Maybe you saved me for you. And that's okay. That's human. It's selfish. It's honest. And I'd rather honest than perfect. 3 months after the wedding, they were having dinner at the penthouse. Takeout from Nobu. Wine J1 had ordered from somewhere expensive. Central Park visible through the windows. I got a job offer, Zara said. Gallery in Manhattan. Better position. More money. That's amazing. Congratulations. It's because of you, isn't it? You made a call. I made a recommendation. You got the job because you're talented. Don't do that. Do what? Act like your influence didn't matter. It did. And I'm not ungrateful. But I need to know, is this going to be my life? You arranging things behind the scenes? J1 set down his fork. What do you want? I want agency. I want to make my own choices. Okay. Then make them. I'll support whatever you decide. Even if I decide to leave? Even then. You keep saying that. But would you really let me go? Yes. Why? Because keeping you here against your will would make me exactly what you feared on our wedding day. And I'd rather lose you than become that. Zara felt something shift in her chest. What if I don't want to leave? J1 went very still. What? What if I want to stay? Not because I'm scared. Not because I have nowhere else to go. But because I choose to. Zara. I'm not saying I love you. I'm not even saying I know what this is. But I'm saying that for 3 months, you've been the most decent person in my life. And I'm tired of pretending that doesn't matter. You don't know me anything. I know. That's why this is real. Because I'm not staying out of obligation. I'm staying because I want to. 6 months after the wedding, Zara's father called. She hadn't spoken to him since signing the papers. I heard you're still with him. With Kong. Yes. By choice. By choice. He treating you okay? Better than you ever did. Silence. I'm sorry, Marcus said finally. For everything. For putting you in that position. For being weak. You were selfish. There's a difference. I know. And I don't expect you to forgive me. But I needed you to know, I'm getting help. Real help. Gamblers Anonymous. Therapy. I'm trying. Good. That's it. Just good? What do you want me to say, Dad? That I'm proud? That we're okay now? We're not. You sold me. Legally. Actually sold your daughter to clear a debt. That doesn't just go away because you're in therapy. I know. But I'm glad you're trying. For you. Not for me. I don't need you anymore. She hung up. J1 was watching from the kitchen. That sounded hard. It was necessary. Are you okay? I will be. She walked to him. Thank you. For what? For giving me the option to be angry. To not forgive him. To choose myself. You always had that option. No. Before you, I didn't. I was always trying to fix things. Make people happy. Keep peace. You taught me I could just be. J1 cupped her face. You taught me something too. What? That saving someone isn't the same as owning them. That love, if that's what this is, means letting go even when you want to hold on. Is that what this is? Zara asked. Love? I don't know. But it feels like it might be. She kissed him. Finally. 6 months of careful distance. 6 months of respect and space and restraint. Gone. I never wanted you. She whispered against his lips. I know. But I do now. I know that too. 1 year after the wedding, they renewed their vows. Not legally. Not officially. Just for them. On the balcony of the Ritz-Carlton penthouse where their marriage had begun. "A year ago, I married you because I had no choice," Zara said. "Today, I'm choosing you. Every day. For as long as you'll have me. I married you to save you," J1 said. "Today, I'm realizing you saved me too. From loneliness. From becoming someone I'd hate. From forgetting what it means to be gentle." They exchanged rings. Real ones. From Tiffany and Company. Not symbols of transaction but of choice. "I love you," Zara said. "I don't know when it happened. But I do. I loved you from the moment I saw you in that coffee shop. I just didn't know how to say it without sounding insane. You are insane. But so am I for loving you back." They kissed as the sun set over Manhattan. And for the first time in her life, Zara felt completely, genuinely free. Not because she'd escaped danger, but because she'd chosen to stay. With a man who'd given her every reason to leave and every reason to stay. And she'd picked stay. Every single day. If you made it this far, thank you, seriously. That tells me these stories matter to you. Here's what I want to know. Would you choose to stay with someone who saved you, even if the beginning was forced? Or would the way it started always make it wrong? Comment stay if you believe love can grow from dark beginnings. Comment leave if some things can't be redeemed. Where are you watching from? Have you ever been saved by someone unexpected? If you haven't subscribed yet, please do it now. It's how this channel survives, and it means more than you think. Next week, she discovered her husband had a secret family, but instead of confronting him, she befriended the other wife. What she learned destroyed them both. Until then, remember, sometimes the person who saves you is the last person you expected. And sometimes being saved means learning to choose yourself, even when someone else gave you the option.